Hello traders, Mark Chapman here, the creator of the trademark Trap Traders concepts. Welcome to today's Trap Traders Trade of the Day analysis. Today's date is a gloomy Monday, the 4th of September 2017, and I'm not going to actually make a trade call today. I just want to talk about something that's been going on for a while, but it's really starting to escalate over the weekend. And if you haven't heard of the news already, if you've been living under a rock for the last couple of days, it's North Korea's massive nuclear test, and them presenting their ability, whether true or not, for their capability to stick a nuke on the end of a missile, ballistic missile, and it's just to articulate what that would actually do to the market. So over the weekend, one of the problems that traders face from holding positions over weekends and things like that is event risk. And what is event risk? Well, event risk is a geopolitical situation that unfolds. It's completely out of the blue. There's no way of diarising these things, right? You just don't know if and when they're going to happen. Terrorist attacks historically have been the kind of thing that can shake markets, but to be honest, the sad truth is now that terrorism is so entwined in the fabric of our lives now that it doesn't really do much other than if you had another huge cataclysmic event like a 9/11, etc. It doesn't tend to do much, but nukes in the hands of a rogue state certainly will do that. And I just wanted to express a couple of ideas that first of all, if you do hold trades over the weekend, you do open yourself up to event risk. That's not the end of the world, but you do have to be aware of it, because you just never know. And if you're in that position, the brokers will not honour their stops under situations like that, so you've got to be aware of that. And you're just stuck in the trade, and the markets can gap, and if it's a bad enough event, they can gap obviously a huge amount. So you've got to be careful of that, especially if there's some type of story narrative that's starting to escalate, like in North Korea. It's possible like we could break out into a third world war, and that is definitely going to do it. So in the coming weeks and months, you just want to be a little bit more cautious about holding positions over the weekend than you normally might otherwise have done. And the other thing is that you can profit from these situations. It was obvious what the markets were going to do today. If you look across the news wires in terms of the stock market overnight, again, really obvious this was going to be the theme. Just type into Google stock markets, click on news, and what you'll get essentially the sentiment surrounding the event. So tensions escalate once again between the United States and North Korea. Asian stock markets hit by North Korea's largest ever nuke test. Wary investors weigh on Asian markets. Blah blah blah. So you get the idea, right? Investors with 30% in cash in North Korea, equity sell off will come. So what you're essentially seeing is basically this morning a bit of a flight to quality, meaning safe haven flows. So the stock market will come off its highs, right? The stock market will start to sell off the indexes. So your FTSE 100, your European stock indexes, obviously overnight the Asian stock markets, and into the New York session, the S&P, etc. And your safe havens will start to benefit. So your Japanese yen, although ironically Japan are in the firing line if North Korea was to break out into full all-out war. But that being said, as you can see, it's still acting as a safe haven this morning. Swiss franc will benefit, the Singapore dollar will benefit, etc. Now you can take these trades. As I said, this was so obvious that this was going to happen over the weekend. I mean, if you just look at the news wires, the major news events breaking, signs that North Korea is preparing more ballistic missile launches in the wake of nuclear test, South Korea. it was obvious that this was going to happen. So you could have got up. You know, you're going to miss the gap because you know it's just going to gap on the open on the Sunday evening. But you could have obviously sold the retracement. You still can get in this trade, absolutely. I personally have a bit of a moral dilemma with making profit out of, you know, dreadful global events. It's not my thing. I don't personally like doing it, but you know, it's up to you. You know, each to their own. But I just wanted to explain that there are opportunities, or there are ways that you can think about this stuff that can, you know, can protect you from the risk event side. And if you know, if you're cool with taking the trades, then they are opportunities. They're kind of simple trades to take, but I said personally I have my own moral dilemma with that, but nonetheless, you know, everyone to each to their own. So, but I just wanted to explain how sort of these geopolitical events can affect the markets, and what you will see as a result of these news events over the weekend. You can predict really that you would expect to sell off in the stock market indexes, then you're going to see, and then you wake up, you see that, right, and then you would expect to see a gap in strength of those safe haven flows, as people worry and pile into the safe haven currencies as a result of whatever the news is. In this case, obviously, it's the North Korea situation starting to deteriorate again. I say again to the worst degree yet. So, hope you found that interesting, guys. As I said, it's not really a trade call from my perspective, but I hope you've found those insights helpful. Take care. All the best.